It'd be fine. All right. What is up? What is up?
How are you doing?
Dude, I'm so ready for this. I don't know if you know it, but you're a pretty cool kid. Not a kid. You're not a kid anymore. But I think there are several people that are excited about you being on here. So this is one thing that's cool about tonight is this the last night I'm podcasting from inside my house.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Where are you going to do it now?
From the shop. I'm getting a whole setup done. It's going to be great. We'll have like good internet out there and everything. It's going to be so cool. So nice. I'm ready. You're the last of the house podcast.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it was pretty choppy out there. What's up, Destroyer 1320? Want to say he says hi. Want to say thanks to him. He's the one that does all of our intros and animation and all that kind of stuff. He's a good dude.
Cool.
Yep. So everybody that's in the chat and will be in the chat and watching this later, definitely go Destroyer 1320. Follow him for sure. We actually met on 2.0 Rocky Mountain Race Week last year, me and Destroyer. I think that's probably where I met you and walked past you 17 times, whatever. You were busy. You're a busy guy.
Well, I actually teched your car on the first day.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, I did tech last year, and I did it again for 1.0, and we'll probably do it again for 2.0 this year. But
dude, that's awesome.
I think, I remember seeing your car. I was like, "What the heck is that?" And but it's cool,
That's what everybody says. And now with the turbo, dude, just wait till everybody gets a load of what we're fixing to throw down.
Yeah. So, what do you think it'll run?
We're hoping for some 13s.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so a little better than 15.2 last year, I think was our average. Yeah. Hopefully we can be in like 13.8 range or something like that. Yeah. Gonna put a simple 7-pound spring in it and spray a little bit just to keep the tires hot, So
yeah. Nice.
So yep. All right, dude, you ready? How many podcasts have you been on?
0.
Yes, he's a virgin, guys. He is a virgin. Let's.
I'm a podcast virgin.
There you go. Lefty Two Guns in here. Yes, everybody, hit the like button. I'm probably not going to say that again the entire podcast because I'll forget because we'll be in depth. So I sent you a bunch of random ass questions, and I think while people gather up in here, let's jump in. Oh, I don't know what I did. I just may have deleted all of them. Nope. I don't know what's going on. Here we go. Sorry. This is the problem with house stuff, man.
I took a look at them and was going to write them down and was like, I'll just, do it off the cuff, not worry about writing anything down or remembering anything.
Dude, you can wing it. As many events as you've been to, I'm sure all of it's ingrained in your brain now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've had to, tell these stories a lot, so
that's
nothing
awesome.
New.
Well, now they'll be in the world forever. How about that?
Yeah, I'm sure they are already somewhere, but that I
right?
don't know about. But
well, let's talk a little bit, kind of like how you got to where you were or are, because I mean, obviously, we all know that you are a photographer and extraordinaire, do all kinds of cool stuff. But you travel a ton for that too, right? I mean, like you're all over.
Yeah. I think this year I've been to since January, I think I've been to something like 22 events or something like that.
That is insane.
So, yeah. Well, that includes if I'm gone for like a week, like I was in Moab a month ago, and then like Mexico 2 months ago for like weeks at a time, filming. And so, yeah, it's,
dude, you live the life, man. You live the life. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, like a lot of younger people will, message me and ask like, hey dude, like I love that you get to travel a lot. And, how do you get to do that? And I try to explain to them like, what I'm doing right now is a result of what I, started doing 5 years ago.
Yeah.
When I picked up a camera for the first time, I never thought, which the first event I ever shot, like with the actual camera was Rocky Mountain Race Week 1.0. Like the first Rocky Mountain Race Week. And then it kind of just snowballed from there. And I think I was like 14 or 15 at the time of that. And now, it's my main source of income, and, it's my main job. So
dude, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And so that puts you what, 20, 21?
Yeah. I'm 20.
God, that's cool, man. Well, dude, hey, listen, from somebody that like went to work 60 hours a week at 20 working for somebody else, dude, do all you can to work for yourself, especially doing what you're doing, because that's really cool.
Yeah, and I've got to meet a lot of cool people. Like right now I'm at work, which I'm at a friend of mine's shop, Deucehold Designs, and I run all of their social media and marketing and stuff, and do that also for a couple other companies, just kind of as a day job, also while I'm going to college, for marketing.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of just, it's a lot, but I have fun.
So now you're getting it on both sides. You're getting the theory aspect of it from school, and then you're getting like the real world aspect of it, of building a business that is social media marketing and all the, and the marketing that'll go with that, like what's the next 10 years of that look like,
Yeah. So, and it's cool to see, like what actually works and what doesn't. And, something like one of my professors will say, I'm like, yeah, that doesn't work. And, explaining to him, like that I've been doing this, for a couple of years now. And, like I've experienced, a lot of newer things that, a lot of professors don't even think about, teaching because they didn't learn, or like they're not caught up with, what's standard today.
Yeah, well, and what's funny is like the professors they learn something and then they teach it. Well, they may teach that same thing for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. Well, dude, it from living in it. Like it changes all the time. Yeah. Like what was it, tags and YouTube videos? Oh man, you got to do tags. You got to do tags. So anytime I'm searching for stuff, I'm like, what is the newest video that I can learn from?
Yeah.
Yep. That's awesome. I want to say thanks to Dirty Panda. He dropped $20 in. That is going to our Rocky Mountain Race Week fund. I'm pumped. So we're getting close. I got my helmet in yesterday. I posted pictures of that on the RMRW page.
Cool.
Dude, I'm so excited. It's my first new helmet. Hang on. Let me show you my old helmet. So I bought this badass machine in 2005 when I bought a brand new 636 Ninja, and have always just used that one. But man, last year I borrowed Lewis Martin's or Austin Martin's helmet and jacket, and I couldn't borrow again. I gotta do it so I can be legal and be in spec and all that kind of stuff, So
yeah.
He's just creeping by. Oh
yeah.
Does he have pants on?
No. That's my friend Patty.
Nice. That's awesome. That is awesome. Okay, so that kind of gives us an idea of what your day job is: shooting stuff, social media. Yep. You're living the life of it. So is it mainly car business, automotive related?
Yeah, everything I do is automotive related. So I don't, like, people ask, like, do you shoot weddings? Do you shoot nature? Whatever it may be. And I'm like, heck no, none of that's fun to me.
No.
I have a good friend. You probably know her, Megan Taylor, Alex Stewart's sister. And we're actually supposed to be shooting a wedding, like co-shooting Brian Lum. He's sorry. They're messing with me.
Nice.
Brian Lum. He's been on a lot of race weeks. He's actually getting married in a couple of weeks, and he wanted us to co-shoot it, and so that'll be the first wedding I ever shoot in.
That's awesome.
I'm excited for it, but then again, I'm like, I do not want to get into weddings. So
what'll be cool is to see how your brain will work with doing that. You know what I mean? Like how the changes will come from like the stuff you would take compared to like a regular wedding photographer.
Yeah.
So, yep.
So, but yeah, everything I do is automotive related. Since I was born, I was born into a family that, his races on both sides, and like my grandpa's a race, and it's just all of my family's in the cars. So
yep, that's cool. So it's funny that what I was typing out the whole time I kept having to retype. I said, Mr. Cole Reynolds. Some say he was born with the camera in his hand. Some others say he only knows how to smile. All we know is that he is awesome.
Yeah. The funny thing about the smile thing is I started a YouTube channel I guess it was about a year ago now. And I started posting videos and stuff. And on one of my bigger videos, I had a comment, and it was like, dude, this is the first video that didn't seem like a Colgate commercial, like stop smiling so much. I was like, dude, like, I was dumbfounded by that, but
man, it's so fun. The comments that people make are hilarious. I'm like, really? Like, you take the time out to make some either a really good comment or like a really dumbass comment.
yeah.
And what's funny is like videos will pop up from like 4 years ago and somebody be like, man, that was stupid. I'm like, oh my God, I don't even remember making this video.
Yeah.
That's
People
awesome.
are ruthless.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's an understatement. All right, dude, let's jump in. Let's get into some questions.
Heck yeah.
Let me get them open back up here. I closed it because I'm not as tech savvy as you are. So 2015 Rocky Mountain Race Week 1.0, or not 1.0, then it was just Rocky Mountain Race Week.
The only one.
Yeah. Let's see here. Where are the questions? Okay. So was that your first like drag and drive event? Had you done others? All that kind of stuff?
No, I grew up with, like my dad, doing drag week a lot. And like, I think my mom and him did drag week in 2014, when him and Larson built the S10,
Nice.
that broke the records and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2015, obviously I couldn't go to drag weeks because it was at the same time, school was, it was in
Right.
September. So I never really got to, but once Rocky Mountain Race Week came, to be, it was like, all right, now I can actually, go on a drag and drive event.
Yeah. So race week is June. So you're out of school for that. You're 15 then. So you're like, this is the coolest ever. Now, were you shooting then? Like,
no. So like I said, I went from my grandparents' house, and I was living in California at the time. Okay. I was at my grandparents' house, and my grandpa had this like old Canon T5 or T3i, and he was like, "Yeah, you can have it." I'm like, "I don't want to use it." So I brought it. I flew from Texas to Denver, where my mom and dad picked me up in my mom's 1966 Chevrolet Bel Air station wagon.
Yeah,
that I'm sure you've seen, and they picked me up there, and that race week was the first event that I shot. Before, everything was just iPhone or iPod, and it was just like me messing around, posting it on Instagram and stuff.
Right, little meets, cruises, car shows, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
so
Good Guys autocrosses, things like that.
That's so. I'm trying to think of like how to word this. Like, how did you go from that camera to like your setup now is really nice, and like were you just like, I'm going to do this? So instead of just band-aiding through, you like give us the progression of cameras that you've gone through. I know none of this that I'm asking right now was on the questions I sent, but it's really interesting to me.
Yeah, no, I went from that Canon T3i and like just had kit lenses and like old lenses that people, would like, if I shot an event for somebody, or, like they just had them laying around, like, here, So I went from the Canon T3i, which was like, I used that for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And, started making money using that actually. And then a friend of mine, Wes Allison, who's a very big automotive, car photographer, who shot for Honda, Toyota, Hot Rod, like a ton of different companies.
Cool.
Had a 5D Mark III laying around. And my dad actually sent him a message. He was like, hey, I want to get Cole a new camera for, Christmas or my birthday or something. Like, can I buy your old one? He was like, no, but, I'll give it to him. I see that, he's getting into this a lot. And so I was given that one by a guy I looked up to a ton.
Dude, that's too cool.
Yeah. And then just started buying lenses and stuff. And that was when Canon still had the EF mount. I know it's camera talk. A lot of people won't understand it, but I just actually bought a R6, which is like their new mount. And it's, I think it came out like a year ago. So it's, a very new camera. So it's been like, I had to, obviously invest in myself and my gear for, to make more money, obviously in the, long run. So it's like the camera setup I have now is just, it's expensive, but it, it's amazing. I'm loving it. So
that's awesome. So the picture I have as the lead into this is you with like, it looks like you're holding up like a TV. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, that thing is awesome.
Yeah. So that one is actually the 5D Mark III I had. And it was big. It had a big extended battery pack on it and stuff. And that's the one I just sold and to buy my new camera. But
Yeah,
yeah, my new
that's
one doesn't have the extended battery pack. It's super small and light. I was like, I'm not carrying around, a 12-pound camera anymore.
like your old shoulders at the end of the day are like, what have you done all day? Just
Yeah.
ripped right back here from holding that camera up. Wendy Martin says she is jealous. So I'm sure she's talking about your camera setup.
She's a good photographer herself.
Yeah.
It's awesome to see, anybody and everybody out there, like with any camera that they have or just taking cell phone photos and posting them,
Yep.
it's always cool to see other people's perspectives. So especially hers or, Megan Taylor's, anybody else who's at these drag and drive events like Mike Pryka, 1320, whoever it may be,
Mm-hmm.
everybody has their own style and, has their own, shots that they like to take. So it's always cool to see, everybody's different takes on the event.
Well, and what's cool, I think too, the angles that everybody is always at a different spot of the track generally, so you're not overwhelmed with burnout shots, there's was it you, I think, that took some like people shots, black and white?
Yep. Yeah. So I started that last year, I think on 2.0.
That's awesome.
Wes Allison, the guy I was talking about, does the portraits of Drag Week. And I had talked to him about it, and they're all black and white photos of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I do not want to cramp your style, but I want to do this for race week. And he was like, dude, go right ahead. Like, please do it. And so I started doing that. And it's actually, I enjoy shooting, or photographing people, not shooting people.
I enjoy shooting people. Wait, what?
Yeah. I enjoy, photographing people and putting it in black and white just to see like the raw emotion of people and like what they're doing, more than I like shooting cars, honestly. And it used to be the opposite. Like I used to hate photographing people, and now it's like I love photographing people at automotive events,
Yep.
and just like people's interaction with other people or with their cars or whatever it may be. So that is it's one of my favorite parts of race week is doing the black and white photo albums.
Yeah, it was super neat. And I think one of those was my profile picture for a long time because like it really was like I was making some stupid face, which is typical of me. It really did capture the moment right then. You know what I mean? It was a lot of fun. So that's really cool. And I think like with like YouTubers and stuff, I would think automotive photographers are generally going to be like, yeah, man, run with it. Like they're not going to that event. So like, why not? Who cares if you're using that? Because, yes, your people may overlap some of the followers, but that's just only going to help both of you. So
they'll say like, oh, you're doing this just like, Wes was doing or, vice versa. And it's cool to see, obviously, Drag Week's going to happen in a couple of weeks. And it'll be cool to see all the pictures that he takes on that, for the portraits. And I always like taking, things I like about different photographers and, using it in mine. So like, Scott Whitty, 1320's photographers, a guy I look up to a ton. I love his style. It's just super realistic looking, but the colors are vibrant and I just love that. And so, I take his style or, take certain shots that like, Megan or Mike Pryka will, take and, or that, like that they're known for. And obviously all photographers are learning from each other, so you don't really necessarily like take something from them and, try to steal it, but it's, incorporating all the things that you personally like and using it to create your own style.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. And the one thing about it, like I know you for your photography, like those guys would be known for, so like as you go along and then you'll look back 10 years from now and be like, man, everybody has this whole meld of stuff that just keeps moving forward. So that's pretty cool. All right. So how many drag and drive events have you been on then?
I guess it's been, so I was on 2015. So that'd be every single race week I've been on. So I guess there's been 6 and then 2.0. So 7, been on 7 race weeks. And I've never done Drag Week, never done the Summit Midwest Drags, I think it's called. I want to do Drag Week, but it always just falls at the worst time, with other events. So, so yeah, just race weeks, every single race week so far.
That's cool, man. And that'll be really neat. Like moving for as we gain all this stuff. So let's, how about your favorite Rocky Mountain Race Week story? Like, I know you've got a ton because you're in the middle of everything every day, but like, give us one or two little nuggets.
So I'm going to start with the first year. My mom and I pretty much did it, just the two of us, because my dad they were doing this TV show thing for it, and so he was doing that, and so it was really just my mom and I, and that was before we had drive days, and so it was, like, we showed up to the hotel at like 4 a.m. one morning, and both of us are just freaking drained, and I couldn't drive. Obviously, I was only 15, so that was the most fun year, I'd say. My favorite memory is of her in, I think it was 2017, running her fastest and actually last drag strip pass at Great Bend.
That's awesome.
So that's always one of my favorite memories. And then also last year on 1.0, Tom McGilton running for his first 200-mile-an-hour pass with her ashes in the parachute at Great Bend. That was a very special and emotional, experience. 1320 captured it. I cried like a baby.
Yeah,
I'll
man.
admit it, but hey, so it was.
That's awesome.
Yeah, those are probably my top stories, and there's so many more, like it's been.
And again, that's one of the reasons to document stuff is because, like, as all of that stuff, you just keep packing more memories in. When you get 40, you won't remember as many stories anymore, so it'll be cool. You have, you have all that in albums and all that kind of stuff. So let's talk 1.0 this year, because obviously I didn't get to go this year. We are going to, for 2022 for sure. I don't care if I have to drive out and like hold Matt's hand. I'm going to 1.0 because I want the drive days. I think the drive days would be awesome.
Dude, they're some of my favorite days.
Yeah.
You're getting to hang out with people. Like this year on 1.0, I went into 1.0 with no plan. I didn't have a place to stay. I didn't have a car to ride in because my dad had his brother with him to do all the live stream stuff. So I was like, I'm showing up and just going straight at it. And it was eventful, to say the least.
So let me ask this, and do you recommend people have a plan ahead of time, or do you think just wing it?
It depends. So, for somebody who, like, in my position, I'm not having to, race every day or work on the car, like it used to be different when, like, my mom and I or my dad and I would take, one of the cars to actually race. But now it's like I'm, race week, both race weeks are some of my biggest events, for throughout the year. So I really, like, I'd love to race, Adam, but obviously I can't afford to,
like time. Yeah.
So, and I enjoy shooting, the event so much. So I would definitely say have a plan, at least, like hotel rooms, because hotel rooms sell out so quickly during the week. A lot of people don't realize that. They'll wait until, the month before. And some of these towns that we go to that are, super small, like they'll sell out of hotel rooms.
Yeah.
And so you really got to be careful about that. So I would definitely say have a plan.
Yeah. Now, sleeping in the back of a truck or in the back of an SUV at 20 is way different than sleeping in the back of a truck or SUV at 40. So we always luckily Wendy Martin is she's my race week mama, and she takes care of all that stuff, and I just show up to the hotels and pay for them and all that kind of stuff. So it's I'm lucky in that sense. So we had debated on just throwing a tent on top of the cart a couple nights, and kind of rough it, but I think I'm going to need a bed and a shower.
This last race week, I slept on the floor of hotel rooms every night.
That's awesome.
And rode with quite a few different people. I think one of my favorite rides was, Tom and Blaine Stark.
Yeah.
With that wagon.
Yeah.
I rode with them one day on one of the drive days, and it was cool. Like they're great people, and I love getting to ride with different people and experiencing, like, their side of the event, and hear their stories and who they actually are. That, like, if I know somebody that is going to an event that I'm going to and they're driving, I'll be like, hey, can I hop in? Let's road trip together. I don't know you necessarily like too well, but hey, it'll be fun.
Well, and so Dustin, my co-pilot last year and co-pilot again
Mhm.
this year, we really had not hung out very much before the event. And so it gave us something to talk about all week long.
Yeah.
Well, I think Wednesday I jumped in with Jonathan Stonecipher in the Black Nova, and
Mm-hmm.
going from like an '03 Grand Marquis, which is what the cart is,
Yeah.
to like a race car. Oh my God. I was like, this, I've got to do this, I've got to do this
Yeah.
at some point. So that's our plan for 1.0 next year, is to take a real race car of some kind. So,
That'll be cool.
and that's, I think riding with other people, one, I mean, if it's your livelihood to snap shots and post and get the stories and things like that, that's
Yeah.
awesome. But then two, like just the um, breadth of cars that you're going to be able to ride in is going to be
Yeah.
awesome.
I can tell you, like, I rode in a couple of cars during the week that had AC, and I was like, this is nice.
Yeah.
Like having
Yep.
AC, especially on 1.0, is just it's key.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what I've got to get. I'm going to have something that's got AC for 1.0, because like you guys were murdered this year, 105-degree temps and stuff. Oh,
yeah,
F that.
it was hot.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's jump in. So 1.0, we talked about kind of the story there. How about favorite day of the week?
That it's hard to say. We talked kind of about this before, going live, but all of the days by the end of the week, all the days just go into one, and it's like you can't remember what day was what track was what. So this last race week though, it was definitely weird. I don't know how to explain it, but it wasn't a normal race week for me. I guess it's just because, I don't know, because we didn't have a car there or something. But the first day obviously is always super fun. So Great
Mm-hmm.
Bend, on the first day this year, getting to see everybody, getting to see the cars show up and all that. But also like the last day is also super fun. Going to the award ceremony, like just relaxing after the event.
Yeah, as
That's always
everybody
fun.
is
But
just like completely murdered, like
yeah,
just wore out and tired, and everybody's on 15 hours of sleep for the week,
yeah,
and we're all sitting there in the chairs. It's like 10 o'clock at night, it's
yeah,
it's pretty awesome. All right,
yeah.
so not really a favorite day. You like all of them. What about tracks though? Was any track your favorite?
So Great Bend is obviously one of my favorite tracks. Just overall, the people there are awesome. The track this year after it was redone was great. A lot of people made really fast passes there, and also
Mm-hmm.
just the sentimental value of my mom running there, for her last pass, and then Tom, doing all that. So Great Bend is definitely my favorite track to be at, to shoot at, like photograph at. Um, I really enjoy Bandamere. I hate the walk to the pits. Up that giant hill, and how they have like zero shade,
Oh, nice.
and no real restrooms, which sucks. I was surprised
Wait,
about that.
wait, what? They're just all porta potties?
Yeah, as
Oh,
far as I can tell, like
gross.
so it was like 100 and something there, and you're going to a porta potty, and by the
Oh,
time you get done, taking a piss, you're like just drenched in sweat. You're like, oh my god, this sucks. But
yeah, it's
so
140 in there. Yeah.
yeah, so I like shooting at Bandamere just because the tower is super cool, behind, and once the light goes down, it's amazing. It's so beautiful there, and then you have like the mountains in the back, and so that's
That's
always
awesome.
another one of my favorite days. Is when we're at Bandamere. Just I don't know, it's just super fun.
Yep. And get some shade in there, Bandamere. Come on.
Yeah.
How about your favorite car, or like one or two cars that was your favorite from 1.0?
Ryan Sykes' Camaro, his first gen, that blue one with the silver stripes. I think
Ooh,
it's a 68. I think he ran in Rowdy Radial. Dude, I love that car so much. It's beautiful, and I actually, we're now friends on like Facebook and Instagram and stuff, and they're building a love truck just like I am to do
yes.
radial racing. I'm doing time attack stuff with mine,
Yep.
but that guy's talented, and his car is freaking amazing. So his car, and then who else? I don't know. There's so many cars on it. Tom McGilton's,
Yep.
Why Not Camaro. That thing is obviously a lot of people's favorites. It's a really
Yeah.
cool car, and
Yeah, that car makes like 3,000 horsepower, and that dude drives everywhere.
Oh yeah, yeah. Tom is awesome too. He's a great guy to talk to.
That's cool.
But, yeah, I'm trying to think of who else was there. Again, it's like by the end of the week, I'm so drained from getting, like 3 hours of sleep a night that I'm like, I can't even remember. But yeah, Ryan's car really stood out to me though, just because it's a good looking car.
That's awesome.
Works,
yeah.
So.
In the somebody needs to drop a picture of that in the comments on the Facebook live feed here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I have photos, but obviously I can't comment.
Yeah, it's like, what? I'm on my phone right now. That's awesome. What about any person stick out in your mind that was just fun to be around?
Like everybody is usually, super fun to be around. Almost all the time people are in, a great mood.
I think that's what's funny is like even people that are broke down on the side of the road are having fun because we're all doing what we want to do, So.
Yeah. One person is Brent from PFI Speed.
Yeah.
I met him at Lay Mullets last year at the Freedom Factory. I think I met him there or somewhere. And dude, I see him at a lot of events. I saw him last week at Grid Life or like 3 days ago at Grid Life in Colorado. And every time I see him, it's just like, hey, dude, big hug and stuff. And just like, hey, how are you? So he really stood out because he's just always in an amazing mood. And like, I like personally, a lot of people say I have can I cuss on here? Like, is that okay?
I don't care. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. A lot of people say I have a resting bitch face. And I'm like, I totally do. But I promise a lot of the time I'm in a great mood. Also, hang on. My AirPods just died.
Oh, no. That's funny.
Okay. No. Yeah. So a lot of people say I have a resting bitch face, and I'm like, I promise I'm nice. But yeah, so it's always interesting to hear people say like, "Oh, you look so mad like at this event," and I'm like, "No, I was having a great time."
You're like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah. That's fine. I don't ever remember seeing that face on you. I think all I saw was smiles, like literally all week. So it takes like a special muscle in there. Your muscles are strengthened. All right. How about like favorite gas station or restaurant? There's got to be something along the route that you were like, this one was awesome.
I think a lot of people agree, like on the drive out there, Buc-ee's in Texas and stuff. Yes. Buc-ee's is amazing. Buc-ee's is the greatest gas station of all time. It's like the Costco of gas stations.
Yes.
A lot of people that don't know about it, Buc-ee's, just look it up. It's like Walmart, it's giant.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I guess on the trip, we have a lot of spots that we just always go to, like if we follow the same route.
Mm-hmm.
This last year, dinner 4 nights of race week consisted of McNuggets from McDonald's at like 1:30 a.m. Yeah. I'm not even joking. Like 4 nights in a row, I had McNuggets. So it was like,
no thanks.
Yeah, no, but we always stop at like Perkins and stuff. My favorite restaurant that we stopped at though is, I guess it was on 1.0 a couple years ago. We went to Thunder Valley in Oklahoma, in Noble, Oklahoma. There's a place right down the street from it called Kendall's. Dude, chicken fried steaks there to die for. They're like that big, and they bring out cinnamon rolls and stuff. Oh, it's so good.
We're eating at Kendall's this year for sure then.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. Okay, so this seems bad. I don't even know all the tracks for 2.0 this year.
So we started Noble, and then Enos, Texas. Enos, Texas. I think it's supposed to be
it's like 20 minutes from me.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so Enos without the P. I think Texans pronounce it Ennis, Texas.
Yeah.
And then I think we do Tulsa, and then like Gudo Springs, Kansas, which is like a triangle. It looks like it's going to be awesome.
So we end there, or do we go back to Noble?
Yeah, go back to Noble.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Noble, I think, is like 2.5 or 3 hours from me.
Yeah.
And then Ennis is super close. I'm at the Motorplex a lot, so
that's awesome.
It's a great track. It's a really cool track.
Yeah, I'm ready. I've seen a bunch of car rallies and stuff go there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm
And it'll
ready
be
to
nice
do that.
because I don't have to pay for a hotel that night.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the great part.
Yeah, you should go to the house.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So, well, I guess that answers that, because my next question was most anticipated track for 2.0, but probably that one, Enos without the P, Texas, because it's going to be close to the house and all good. But I will say Thunder Valley was the fastest track, I think, last year for almost everybody for 2.0.
I like Thunder Valley. It's a cool track. It's, with how much history is there, especially with, the no prep stuff. Yep. It's always cool because you never know who's going to show up and just hang out and watch.
Yep.
So, that'll be a cool track. And Kendall's is right down the road, which is like the best part.
Yeah. So I'm going to do that. I think we start Sunday this year or Saturday, whatever day we start. I'm going a day early, and definitely going to be hitting that the night before. That's awesome. So I was going to ask how you handle meals. Like, this is kind of like for noobs. How you handle meals? Is it road food? Is it restaurants? Is it gas station food? Do you make your own? All that kind of stuff.
Personally, I try to eat healthier. Obviously, me saying that I eat, McDonald's 4 nights in a row on 1.0 does not make it seem that way. But to any newcomers, always have a ice chest with ice in it. And pack stuff like, I don't know, go to the grocery store and just get like lunch meat and, sandwiches and stuff, because, dude, like, food gets expensive on these trips. You think like, oh, a $20 meal, for a nice lunch or, dinner, $25, whatever it may be. It's like, oh, that's nothing. But when you're doing that, you have 5 days or 7 days, whatever trip it, may be, of lunch and dinner and breakfast if you're not eating at the hotel, it adds up really quickly. And, that's a big expense. It's honestly probably for some people just as much as fuel. So another thing, a hack is at the hotels in the morning, some hotels have the pre-wrapped like muffins and stuff or bananas. They don't limit you for how much you can take. So just take like 5 or 6 muffins and you're good. Like there's your snacks for the week, or some bananas,
Yep.
That's bad,
you're like running out.
Yeah. But yeah, I would definitely say, go to the store like the day before, have an ice chest with you, buy stuff like chips, lunch meat, peanut butter and jelly stuff, it's always good. That's always my go-to, especially if I'm, going, like when I went to Moab or Mexico, where, you're not around a lot of restaurants or stores, you just get a loaf of bread and a jar of peanut butter and a jar of jelly, and you're good.
Yep.
Like, you're set.
Yep, you are set. That's probably the biggest thing that took us by surprise for 2.0, because I didn't even think about it. So we didn't go to the grocery store until like Wednesday night.
Yeah.
That was too late.
You got to buy a big thing of water and just keep it in the car.
Yep.
Because a lot of people don't realize how hot it gets, like in these race cars or at the track, and also other people just needing, water. Like one of my, I appreciate so many people on race week for, they'll see me walk through the pits and be like, "Hey, Cole, you want water?" And I'm like, "Yes, thank you." Like, please, because I'm running around constantly, and, I can't just go back to whatever, car I'm in or with and, grab water. So always have water for other people, but most importantly, you yourself.
Yep. I think I'm going to buy like a bunch of the 8-ounce bottles, because you can chug that.
100% do that.
Yep.
We used to do that. Like my mom, she would get pissed because like, my dad and I, or even her, she always said it was my dad and I. It was also her. She can't lie. You'll drink half the bottle, set it down, and forget about it, or not know whose it is. So the little bottles, perfect. Like you said, you can chug them. They're smaller to store under a sea or whatever it may be. So definitely.
That's awesome.
The other thing is you can buy those liquid IVs. It's like electrolyte packets and stuff. It's for hydration. Those are great, especially on the hot days. If you can't drink enough water, if you're forgetting it, get some of those. You're set.
That's a good idea. Instead of 5-hour energies, you mean?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I have a problem with energy drinks. Like I don't drink soda, like at all.
Yep.
But energy drinks on like trips and stuff, I'll get a Red Bull or something. I also love Celsius, and Celsius is like a healthier energy drink. I drink a lot of those. Alex Taylor got me hooked on those, and I drink too many of those on race week.
There you go. You got to keep your brain moving, man. Got to keep it moving. Yeah. That's funny. Well, speaking of energy drinks, this is good lead in. How much sleep do you think you get during the week?
So on 1.0, my dad, uncle, and I drove up to Bentonville, Arkansas to help the Taylors thrash on their.
No. Do not tell me you were in Northwest Arkansas and I didn't know about it.
I didn't know you lived up there.
Dude, I live in Bentonville.
You do? Or not Bentonville, sorry, Boonville.
Yeah.
They live in Boonville.
Yeah, you're like an hour from me. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll be up there in October. I'll be in, I guess it's Fayetteville, I think.
Yeah.
For the Machine Gun Kelly concert. So I'll have to come say hi.
Yeah, let's go. I'm ready.
Dude, so so we went up there and thrashed for like 2 days or 3 days and went straight to the race the next day. And like we pull into Great Bend at like 6 a.m., go to the hotel. My dad and his brother fall asleep in the hotel room. I take a shower, wake my dad up. He takes me to the track. I haven't slept, takes me to the track, and I start shooting it, 6:45 a.m. to just
God.
And so I went into that, dude. Like anybody who saw me at Tech that first day, I was writing down their names and stuff. Dude, they can tell you I was dead to the world. I was just like, I'm sorry, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm way too tired. But throughout the week, it's normal, to go to bed at 2:30, especially, for me after editing, because I'm like this last on 1.0, I was working for Holly, and so I was sending him photos every single night, and, editing 100 plus photos after going through them and after shooting them, it's a lot. And, then waking up at typically, depending on, what time we leave it, go to bed at 2:30, wake up at 5:30. That's very normal. Sometimes even less than that. There's been nights where you don't sleep. You might take like a 30-minute nap in the parking lot, like after working on a car. Fall asleep, wake up, keep working, and then just keep going. But it's different for everybody. A lot of people that bring newer cars, obviously they get a lot more sleep. And then there's the people that have full-blown race cars, that don't, there are multiple nights throughout the week that they don't get to sleep.
Yeah.
So that's also where the drive days really come in, because you can sleep in or, wake up early and then, get to bed early. So that really helps. But for me, I would say on average 3.5 hours of sleep a night.
That's maybe crazy.
4, but
that is crazy.
Yeah, it's not fun, but I'm so used to it now with all the other events I do, like Pikes Peak, the hill climb, which is the company that I work for, Dussault Designs. You can kind of see he has a twin turbo like tube chassis 67 Camaro that ran at the Pikes Peak hill climb last year and this year. I actually went. I think I went straight from race week. Yeah, I went straight from race week. Left race week. Drove to Colorado with Joe Barry's son.
Yeah.
And the next day was the start of Pikes Peak Week, where we have to be up on the mountain at 3 a.m.
Oh my God.
Waking up at 2 and typically going to bed at like 11:30 to midnight. So, dude, doing the thrash with the Taylors to race week to Pikes Peak Week was like, dude, after I was dead. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
But I wouldn't ask for it any other way. People say like, dude, you can't do that to your body. I'm like, I'm young. I can handle it. Like, it's okay. I know I'll regret it in the future, but I'm okay.
So, it'll be fine. You'll live.
Yeah. But it's fun, like, especially after, looking back, it's like, I would do it all again tomorrow.
Yep.
So.
And what's funny about that, in doing what you thoroughly enjoy, and being able to do that 18 hours, 19 hours a day, it's not work. Like it's a blast.
Yeah. One thing I've like discussed with, some close friends is like, I never want to, like, I know it's bad. A lot, the older generation, will disagree and stuff, but like, I literally have a sticker on my computer that I'm looking at. It's like, do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, you're the only person that really matters for yourself. It's like, if you're doing what makes you happy and you're happy at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Yep.
As long as you're not like, messing with other people and, being mean or anything. But,
or doing meth. Meth is bad.
Yeah, that it makes you happy, I've heard, but it's bad.
That's not worth it. It makes no one else happy.
No. But yeah, it's, doing what makes me happy. It's like, I never want to feel like I have a real job, which also sounds bad, but it's like, if I can do this for the rest of my life, or, if the YouTube thing kicks off or whatever it may be, as long as I'm doing, what I'm doing, hanging out around race cars as a job, it's like, I will be happy.
So let me ask you, on the social media business side of stuff, do you go to locations and take pictures to post, or do they send you pictures?
What do you mean?
Well, like, so, if you're doing social media posts for a business that's yours or that you're working with, do you physically go to the locations to take the pictures and stuff? Okay. That was,
So like here at Soul Designs, like Pikes Peak, went there. We're actually going to film with Hoonigan in 2 weeks or something.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'll be going to that. The only event that I won't be going to is Sand Hills Open Road Challenge. Also in a couple of weeks, because I had another event I had to go to, or I have to go to California to shoot for.
Gotcha.
But typically, any photos that I'll be posting for a company, I take. So they usually have to be around here, but also work for a couple of other people that they'll just send me photos throughout the week, and I'll edit them or do whatever, or I'll have older photos that I've taken of the people at the event. So it
cool.
it really like I don't really like posting other people's photos, just as a like I never want to. I've had problems with people posting my photos and not giving credit and stealing the credit and stuff, and I'm like, I don't want that to happen. I'm just going to post my photos. So
and the other side of that too is like, then you control the narrative of that, but then also what you're taking. It's not some picture of a engine bay and you're like, what's the story on this car?
So it unless it's like a photo of me that somebody else took, and I always give them credit for it. Any photo is usually mine that I'll take, even if I'm posting it for another company.
Yeah. That's cool. All right. So back to drag and drive event stuff. That popped in my brain. I told you I was going to squirrel real bad.
I do not mind.
Yeah. So, favorite road food snack, like candies. What do you have if you are in the gas station?
I'm a cheap ass. Like dude, I hate spending especially at gas stations. You walk into a gas station, it's hard not to, not spend like $8 to $10.
Oh yeah.
Especially when like a bag of chips is like $4.50.
Yep.
Well, a bag of chips and water is like, $8. So typically, Nature Valley like chewy peanut butter, granola bars, they're like 99 cents.
Yeah.
I grab like 4 of those in a water, or I'll grab like a Cliff Bar or something, or a Celsius, energy drink.
Celsius, sponsor this dude.
Seriously, like I've spent a lot of money on your products. Like, just send me stuff. No, but typically, I don't know if I walk into a gas station, I'm usually walking out with an energy drink, a Smart Water or some water, and then like granola bars or something, I'm a big fan of Cliff Bars. So usually something like that. I'm not a big chip guy, so I don't usually like buy chips. Yep. And they're also just messy, like granola bar, quick, simple, eat it, done.
3 bites, your hands are back on the camera. You're ready.
Yeah. Or like, protein shakes or something, something that, will fill you up, for longer. It's easy to eat terribly on these events, and I just I've learned, from eating terribly, like on these events, that you just can't do that, because by the end of the week, if you don't drink enough water, or, you don't eat enough of the right foods, like you're going to feel it at the end of the week. And so it's good. Like taking care of your body on these events is just as hard as taking care of your car.
Yeah. Now just imagine being 40 and going through that.
Yeah.
like you say, feeling bad. Yeah, it's real bad. You're like, oh God, why did I have that chicken fried steak last night?
Yeah, I will never complain about eating chicken fried steak though.
That's awesome. I'm gonna put that on the list. What's it called? I'm gonna put it on the in the comments here. Kendall's in Noble, right?
Yeah, it's right down the street from the track. Like little the street that you drive down and turn into the track. It's like in that little downtown area.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. It was one place that just happened to be open, and we were leaving the track. It was Brian Lum, my dad, me, and the Taylors, and we were like, oh, we don't know where to go. And the Taylors, like, they left. They were like, oh, we'll just find a McDonald's or something. So they leave, and we look on our phone. We're like, oh, we'll go to Kendall's. We literally like pull in at the same time, and we're like, what the heck?
I thought you were going to McDonald's. They're like, I can't do McDonald's again.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's really good.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to hit that up on Friday night or whatever night I get there before the event starts. So, well, dude, hey, I've got to wrap it. I've got to do brakes on the wife's rig. I want to say thank you very much. Rob Pearson just popped in and says, "What's up, Cole?"
He's another great photographer.
That's awesome. Well, I do want to say thanks. We are going to hang out whether you want to or not on 2.0. So
I want to ride with you on one of the legs because again, I'm going into 2.0. No plan.
Yeah,
I enjoy doing it. I'm very spontaneous. You know, I like to do going with no plan. So
well, here's good news. I just bought a cot that we're going to take with us, so you won't have to sleep on the floor. You can sleep in the cot.
Heck yeah,
yeah.
But yeah, dude. And your car will be great to shoot rollers out of, which we talked about last year and we never did.
Yeah, so, man, it was like this all day, all week. It
was like crisscross. Hey, go, you know. So,
Yep.
Yeah,
we'll definitely get some of that for sure.
Yeah, well, it's awesome. I enjoyed doing this. I never knew a podcast would be so much fun. It was almost just like FaceTiming somebody. You know, I'm not even worrying about the comments or anything. It's just like talking to a friend.
Yeah, dude. Listen, with the stories you have, I think you would be great with podcast stuff. The people you know, the stories you have, all the fun stuff.
Yeah,
I just don't know when you'd fit it in.
I've thought about it. I thought about doing one a week or trying to on like YouTube, even if I just pre-recorded it. I wanted to start one actually with other younger automotive, enthusiasts. Kind of just like tell, have other people tell their stories, and so. But yeah, I'll have to, I'll definitely think about it. And anytime you want me on, I'm happy to be on.
Yeah. Hey, well, I'll take you up on that for sure. We'll have you back. For sure. So, all right, dude, I got to go, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yep. Bye, everybody.